sagacity, old and new titles are packed in huge volumes. It's Takshi here. This time, we will be introducing the noteworthy light novels that will be released in December, and we will introduce them thoroughly so that not only people who want to know the latest trends in light novels, but also people who don't usually read light novels will be interested in light novels. This time, we will thoroughly check out the noteworthy works released in early December, such as Kadokawa Snekaer Bunko and Ranobe Bunko. First of all, let's start with Kadokawa Snekaer article, which will be released on December 1st. But first, let's take a look at the notable titles of the sequels in the series. The neat and pretty girl at my new school is a childhood friend of mine who I thought was a boy, volume 7, and my stepsister is my ex-girlfriend, volume 11. Both of them will be released on December 1st. Let's check out these two works first. She's the neat and pretty girl at my new school is a childhood friend of mine who I thought was a boy. As the title suggests, it's a romantic comedy that depicts the classic story of a girl who used to play around thinking she was a boy, but when she resumes playing in high school, she turns out to be a beautiful girl. You can enjoy the pattern of love from here as Function is now in its 7th volume, so it has grown into a popular series. It was announced at the 35th anniversary event of Snekaer Bunko from Nemco that an animation project is in progress, so it's going quite. I feel like there will be a lot more love comedy anime adaptations from here on out. That's how this work is gaining momentum. However, the latest issue is the start of a cultural reorganization, and the typical youth events are not unfolding. There are also developments where the hero starts to become popular with other girls and the heroine gets anxious, so it seems like there will be a lot of developments. This is a series that will become even more popular in the future, so let's catch up now. This is the 11th volume of My Stepmom's Daughter Is My Ex, the latest edition of the family romantic comedy series representing Snekaer Bunko, which is also a TV anime. From the previous volume, the background has been included in the cover illustration, so the atmosphere is quite good. It looks different, doesn't it? Even the numbers are in the double digits, making it a firm favorite among Snekaer Bunko. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that Kosuke Kamishiro's series accelerated the homeless romantic comedy boom in the light novel industry. Doing a romantic comedy with your ex-girlfriend under the same roof is a setting that really makes you smile. It's really nice to see two people who have been feeling unsatisfied show their love story in the next row. As the function progresses, the relationship between the two will progress rapidly, so you can enjoy the sweet and sour glitter. Yum has changed a lot since the beginning, and the latest volume opens with the Okinawa Trip edition. It's going to be a fun school trip, but the relationship between the two of them is about to be revealed to those around them, and it's a mess. It seems like things are going to unfold, but it's difficult to see how the story will develop in the future, so be sure to check out the latest edition. The above is an introduction to the notable sequel titles in the series. Next, the only way we can become a family, even though we're not related by blood, Scum Rest Oblige. I've been reincarnated as a scum villain in the 18-game world, and I desperately want to grasp the mob life with the power of my knowledge of the original world, and a story about losing a battle with a childhood friend who is an evil genius and having all her first experiences taken away from her. Let's introduce them and take a look at each one of them. I will introduce these works. Let's start with the first one. A story about losing a battle with a childhood friend who is an evil genius and having all her first experiences taken away from her. It's a rather radical title, but in terms of the cover illustration, this is a Yuri story. This work won the Newcomer Gold Prize at the Sneaker Awards. I guess the light novel boom is really coming, right when the Rookie of the Year award is coming. His work seems to be centered around two girls who are childhood friends, and the heroine appears to be an honor student with a strict sword tailing system, but in reality she is a showa girl who looks down on people. Now, the main character, a girl, challenges these familiar faces to a competition for something important, but she loses because they can't meet each other, and her first kiss is taken away from her. And after that, every time she loses the competition, she goes on a date or hangs out with her. Even the word I love you is taken away by his childhood friend, and he is dropped into Yu's swamp. By the way, this work also features Urano's messenger, Teren Mikami, and manga artist Uru Nakatani. From what I read from the teacher comments, it seems that it is a sweeter romantic comedy, but a work that allows you to enjoy the slightly sad conflict of girls as it is a one-shot. This is a must-see new work with eyes of a Yuri, isn't it?
I can rest obliged. I have been reincarnated as a scum villain in the 18-game world, and I desperately want to grasp the mob life with the power of my knowledge of the original work. Is this a new Eroge reincarnation series? I feel like there are more and more Eroge reincarnations lately, but maybe it's just my imagination. In this work begins with the main character reincarnated as a hated character in the erotic game world, and deciding to live as a mob character in order to avoid destruction. Even though I'm acting to become a character, for some reason my popularity with those around me skyrockets, and I end up taking on the role of an important character in the story. It's going to be a comedy, but to be honest, it's a synopsis that I've seen quite often, but since this is an original work by Botaro, I've checked the reviews there, and it seems like there are a lot of crazy characters, and the comedy parts are quite interesting. It seems that there is a slight serious element in the comedy, so it is a misunderstanding, and I feel like I can expect a lot from this comedy of misunderstandings like this one, which has become more popular than ever before, and I'll check out this one as well. So the only way we can become a family, even though we are not related by blood, so I'm intrigued by titles like this. I guess it's a romantic comedy about family and love, but the story is set 7 years after the divorced parents got back together. It seems to be the beginning of the younger sister's life for the first time, but the younger sister is not a real sister but a stepsister. It seems like the story begins when the main character learns the truth. Furthermore, a childhood friend who's supposed to be part of the family moves into their house, and the three of them start living together. It may seem like a bad idea, but the childhood friend has a fake relationship with the main character to avoid love troubles. It looks like they'll be playing a couple. No matter how you think about it, there's no doubt that a love triangle will develop between the younger sister and her childhood friend. Each of them will become a family. It seems like the story will be about two people who felt lonely on the other hand, so they desperately try to become a family, but they can't hide their romantic feelings. If you like love triangles, this seems like a good map. If you're interested, please try purchasing it.
Snekaer Bunko also has other works, which includes I Reunited with My Ex-Girlfriend on a Dating App Volume 4, which has reached its final story, and Tsukina Ko no Shinyu in Hisoka Naisemara Bete Iro says I'm secretly being stalked by my favorite girl's best friend, a impure Yuri story that has also won the Newcomer Award. If you're interested in these two works, please check them out. Next, unveiling the releases for HD Bunko, where this time I'll be picking up one new and one continuation works. Let's check it out. Let's start with the 4th volume of Mad Daughter-nai listing, where a battle junkie who is reincarnated as Nemador goes on to do extraordinary things. This series is quite popular as a comic ride, so I'm reading that one. I'm sure there are many people who say that, but it's a work in which battle junkies play an active role. However, it's not just about battles completely, but it's also a business called Magic Vision that spreads a video distribution service both domestically and internationally, so it's good to have some originality in the setting. It's impressive that there is a huge gap between her being a young girl who is popular as a cute reporter on a video program, but behind the scenes she's a young girl who wants to fight against strong men. Anyway, the main character is extremely strong, from destroying the mafia and becoming unreal in the underground arena. It really feels like a berserker, which is interesting. So now, my latest issue seems to feature an episode in which the main character, who needs to earn a lot of money to hold a national dance competition, goes to another country to become a monster. I can feel it from the cover illustration. I like the expression that makes you feel like you're going to beat him up like this, right? So please check it out now while there are few functions. This is a notable work in the series. The 1st volume shows that the young lady has been acting weird since I was confessed to her. This is one of the works. Let's take a look at it right away. This is also a new work that is a romantic comedy. It feels like a romantic comedy with a young lady heroine. Well, the main character of this work is a servant in the house of a young lady heroine, and it seems that the setting is that he goes to the same school as her butler classmate, Teconte. The story begins to move when the young heroine sees this house. It seems that the heroine has loved the protagonist for a long time and approaches him out of impatience and jealousy. So by the way, the main character also seems to be devoted to young ladies, but what I'm curious about is the relationship between the young lady and the sheep. The main character has a serious working-like atmosphere, so how will the relationship develop from a hand-to-hand relationship to a romance? The key point is how the heroine gets excited. She's coming. It looks like it will be an enjoyable story, so if you like that genre, you might want to check out this work. If you're interested, please try purchasing it. In addition to that, Ranobe Bunko will also release the lovey-dovey nude life of the strongest hero, and the expressionless cute assassin Volume 2, the rising heroic story of a junior high school graduate explorer Volume 4 Nimaya Maiken Puzzle Sopai Stumpage Osegritas Alfia Nobishujo Mientana Moreta Camouflage Koretsi Mamashita Enshin Survive Botsuvi Sasen New Game Volume 5 Seija no Osa Volume 7 and Kuro no Senki Volume 13. All of these works will be released, so check it out. Finally, let's take a look at the works that will be released on December 2nd. Works such as I was reincarnated as the 7th prince so I can take my time perfecting my magical ability Volume 7 and the Ice Blade Sorcerer shall rule the world. These are the two works, and both of them are hit works of Kodansha Ranobe Bunko. Let's check this series out. This series is a reincarnation-based warrior fantasy that's gaining momentum right now. It's a very popular comic series, so there may be a lot of people reading that series. The main character is very fond of magic, entertaining a book magic junkie who is reincarnated as the 7th prince of a certain country. You can enjoy watching the main character do whatever he wants in order to master magic. The series of events in which the main character does unexpected things that startle the people around him is a promising story. Because he prioritizes his pursuit of magic above all else, he becomes unrivaled with unplanned chaos. This work is recommended for those who like exhilarating developments. This work will be aired on TV from April 2024. Looking at the character design, it looks like the comic version will proceed like Junie, so the manga version has a flashy character pay. I'm curious to see how the production will be reproduced in the anime. I'm looking forward to it because I think it will become a hot topic once the anime ends. And in the latest edition of the original work, the main character, Lloyd, is going to attend a magician's school. However, the strongest scene is likely to be flashy, so I'm looking forward to seeing that part too. If you are ready, please also check out the original work. Futemi, the Ice Blade Sorcerer, shall rule the world Volume 8. This is a magical academy battle fantasy work. The previous volume was released in December of last year, so this is the first new volume released in about a year, and this is the story of the strongest magician. To counter, the story begins when the main character, who is alone but has limited powers, enters a magic school. Even though the main character has a limiter, there is an exhilarating feeling of being unparalleled in the scene of the heart, and it is also a classic school magic TV anime. Its outtake was aired in January of this year, so I watched it then. I think there are a lot of people who have heard of Matsuko, who was an animator with a different atmosphere than the original work and the comic version, but I think Matsuko was a surprisingly good animator. Although there are some highlights, what did everyone think of the production? She takes a Kion. It was an anime that was made with a lot of thought and error while also having an atmosphere of harsh environment, and you could feel the director's efforts. Personally, I don't think the second season of the anime will be any different. However, the latest edition is an episode of the school's summer vacation, so it seems like there will be a leisurely story about the sea, summer festivals, etc. It's important information about the 7th generation of magicians, including the main character, Fukomse Mr. Hao. The story seems to be progressing, so it looks like you'll be able to enjoy the latest version as well. If you're a fan of the series, let's enjoy the latest volume after a long time. This is an introduction to the new series, titled You Also Write Novels, right? This is one of the works. Let's take a look at it right away. The somewhat provocative perspective of the heroine is impressive. The illustration was done by Tantan, which is to be expected. Suzumiya, so the author, Mitatsukisha Yuho, is a new writer who made her debut with Kemi Tatsuya Sonnet, but that work was really good, so I'm really looking forward to her new work. The main character of this work is a lecturer at Shigana Cram School. and when he goes to an autograph session for a novelist he admires, he turns out to be a problem child. At the cram school, a genius. The protagonist learns the true identity of the best-selling author, but surprisingly the two have met once before, and what's more, he dreams of becoming a novelist. The protagonist is the only one who has given up on his dream of becoming a novelist, and the heroine is irritated by this, and in order to get the protagonist back on the path of searching, the protagonist goes through the hardships of writing a novel. So the story that begins will unfold. Well, the main character has a lover, and also has a social position as a cram school teacher, so it seems like he is conflicted about whether or not to pursue his dream of being a novelist. No, the creator seems to be quite interesting at the time of setting it out. Personally, I really like the main character who is frustrated. I love the way things take a step forward, so I'm thinking of purchasing this work as a must. If you're interested, please check out this work. This was an introduction to the new light novels that will be released in early December. There are a lot of new releases that I'm interested in. What do you all think of this lineup? If there are any works you're interested in, please leave them in the comment section. Please let me know. That's all for this video. I'll be introducing new releases next week as well, so I'd be happy if you could click the subscribe button or watch another video to show your support for the channel. Well then, see you in the next video.